Hello and welcome to you all to the Commerce Positivity lecture. In today's lecture, we will totally focus on the meaning and the concept of consumer behavior, natures of consumer behavior, scope of consumer behavior, and the importance of consumer behavior. So let's start with the meaning or concept of consumer behavior. So, consumer behavior. What is consumer behavior? In the word, we can clearly notice that the consumer behavior is made up of two different words. One is consumer and another is behavior. So, first of all, let's clear about the words consumer and behavior. Who are the consumer and what is the meaning of behavior? Well, consumer is the person who decide on the purchase of a goods or services for their personal use or to satisfy their needs or wants. Similarly, what is behavior? Behavior may be defined as a way a persons interact towards certain objective or things. So, when we combine these two words, consumer and behavior, it becomes a consumer behavior. Now, let us know about the meaning or definitions of consumer behavior. Well, consumer behavior refers to the behavior that a consumer display in searching, purchasing, using, evaluation and disposing of a product and services that they expect will satisfy their needs. Different customers have different needs, wants or expectation. It varies from the consumer to consumer. According to Walter, consumer behavior is the process whereby individuals decide what, where, when, how, and from whom to purchase the goods and services, and that purchased goods and services is going to satisfy his or her wants, needs, or demands. In conclusion, we can simply say that consumer behavior can be defined as the buying behavior of ultimate consumer who purchase goods and services from their personal use or for their family use. Okay? Now, let's just take one example of consumer behavior. There is one consumer or individual and he or she wants to buy something from the market. In the process of purchasing the goods or that something, first he will do the detailed investigations about that product or services that he or she is going to buy or purchase. He will check the quality of a product. He will visit different shops to check the price of that goods. He will compare the product with each other to select the best product and price. And finally, he decides to purchase the product at the price he or she is satisfied. This type of a behavior shown by consumer while purchasing goods is consumer behavior. Different consumers have different needs, wants, perception. The most difficult things in this world is to understand the people behavior. Once we understand the people behavior, it becomes easier us to exist in today's world. Natures of consumer behavior. Now let's study about the natures of consumer behavior. Once we study about the natures of consumer behavior, it will be easy for us to understand the meaning or concept of consumer behavior more clearly. Complex nature. The first natures of consumer behavior is complex nature. Complex nature, as we know that different consumer or customer have different taste, choice or preference. So, it is always the duty of marketer to notice the consumer behavior in order to improve his product. Consumer behavior is of complex nature. Varies for different consumer. Yes, varies for different consumer is another natures of consumer behavior. Different consumer have different needs and varies. Hence, it is impossible for the marketer to focus on each and every consumer for their product. Therefore, marketer try to identify their target market for their product and services in the marketplace. Dynamic nature. Dynamic nature is another important natures of consumer behavior. The behavior and mentality of each consumer change according to time. Therefore, It is always the responsibility of marketer to attract the consumer toward their product and quality. Yeah, the another natures of consumer behavior is influenced by various factors. Yes, of course. Consumer behavior is always influenced by various factors. Various external internal factors affect the consumer behavior daily. Consumer behaviors are influenced by the factors like family, friends, cultures, lifestyle, etc. Importance for marketer. Yes, important for marketer is another important natures of consumer behavior. It's the important for marketer to understand the consumer behavior, taste, needs before making any product for the success of their product. The success and failures of a product totally depends on the consumer behavior, consumer taste. Therefore, marketer must study the consumer behavior. In the marketplace, consumer is regarded as the king of the market. Thus, the priority should be given to the consumer behavior. Brand loyalty. Yes, brand loyalty is another important nature of consumer behavior. Few consumers like to purchase product and services having good brand loyalty in their eyes. Scope of consumer behavior. Now let's study about the scope of consumer behavior. Demand forecast is the first scope of consumer behavior. Demand forecasting. Yes, marketer can easily estimate the demand of their product if they know how consumer would behave and react after seeing their product in the marketplace. In the future, even they can increase the demand of their product and services after knowing the consumer behavior totally in detail. Similarly, marketing is another important scope of consumer behavior. Marketing. Consumer behavior helps to understand the consumer needs, wants, expectations and problem. Once consumer needs expectations are known by marketer totally in detail, it becomes easier for them to design the product according to their needs, which helps to increase their demand of the product in the marketplace. Similarly, advertising is another important scope of consumer behavior. Advertising. Different consumer may have different opinion and reaction on certain form of advertisement. Correct advertisement can target more and more consumer and demand can be increased. Human behavior. Similarly, human behavior is another important scope of consumer behavior. Human behavior. If marketers are aware of the human behavior of the consumer and which factors influence their behavior, then they can make their product 100% competitive and can fulfill the consumer needs and demand according to them. Now, let's come to the importance of consumer behavior. Why consumer behavior is important? In older age, the importance of the study of consumer behavior was not realized because it was a seller market. But modern market is consumer market. As consumer are the most important persons for the market or sale persons. In today's world, consumer is regarded as the king of the market. The study of consumer behavior helps the business manager, salespersons, and the marketer in the following ways. Marketing of the product. Marketing of product is the first important of consumer behavior. Marketing of product. Consumer behavior is very complex because each consumer has different mind, perceptions, and attitude toward purchase, consumption, and disposal of product. Understanding the concept of consumer behavior helps the market the product and services successfully in the market. Similarly, consumer needs and satisfaction is another importance of consumer behavior. Consumer needs and satisfaction. Organizations should offer a marketing mix that satisfy consumer needs. To find out and to design the best possible product or services that fully satisfy consumer needs and satisfaction, they must study and understand the consumer behavior totally in detail. Marketing mix. Development of marketing mix is another importance of consumer behavior. Consumer response to marketing mix keep changing. Better understanding of the factor that influence consumer behavior helps organizations to develop appropriate consumer mix. Similarly, new market opportunity is another importance of consumer behavior. Unsatisfied needs motivate consumer to buy. By understanding consumer behavior, marketer can locate new market opportunity and innovate new product in the market. Similarly, organizational objective or organization objective is another importance of consumer behavior. By understanding consumer behavior, an organization can select the most attractive segment as target market, which increase sales. It also improves the performance of organization, which helps to achieve the organizational objective as well. Similarly, product positioning is another importance of consumer behavior. Positioning describes how an organization's product differ from its competitor. By understanding consumer behavior, organizations can better position their product. They can offer key product benefit to the target market. Similarly, competition is another importance of consumer behavior. So, competition, one of the most important reasons to study the consumer behavior is to understand the factor and to face competition in the market. To sustain in this competitive market, the study of consumer behavior is very important. Yeah, I just hope you all understand the meaning or the definitions of consumer behavior. Definitions of consumer behavior given by different scholars. Similarly, the natures of consumer behavior, scope of consumer behavior, and also the importance of consumer behavior. Yeah, that's it. Thank you so much.